Muscle strength recovery. A doctor's heartfelt confession. I know you're sitting there, feeling as though your body is slowly betraying you. Perhaps this morning when you woke up, you had to prop yourself up on the bed to stand, and that feeling made you anxious. Are you wondering why those once steady steps now tremble? Why those stairs that were once easy have now become a challenge? And whether you'll still be independent someday? Throughout my decades of practice in the United States, I've sat face to face with thousands of people like you, people who were once strong, independent, confident, but now they come to see me with eyes full of worry, telling me about the feeling that their body is melting away day by day. They describe how opening a yogurt jar has become difficult, how holding their grandchildren is no longer easy, and the fear of falling while walking on the sidewalk. This isn't just normal aging. This is sarcopenia, the silent disease that's eating away at your muscles day by day, hour by hour. I've witnessed peers go from healthy to frail in just a few years, not because of serious illness, but because they didn't know how to nourish their muscles properly, and I don't want you to become one of them. Today, I want to share with you 5 foods that have changed the lives of hundreds of my patients. These aren't expensive pills or complex supplements. These are simple foods you can find at any store, but they are the weapons against age-related weakness. Walnuts, the faithful companion of muscles. Let me tell you about Margaret Thompson, a 72-year-old woman from Portland. When Margaret first walked into my clinic, she had to hold her daughter's hand tightly to walk. She told me that since her husband passed away, she felt as if her strength had gone with him too. Hands that once skillfully embroidered now trembled when holding a teacup. Legs that once danced now only shuffled along. Margaret had tried everything: exercise, vitamins, even expensive tonics. But nothing changed until I suggested something so simple she thought I was joking: walnuts. Do you know that walnuts aren't just snacks? They are natural pills created by nature specifically for aging muscles. Within each small walnut kernel lies omega-3, arginine, vitamin E, and precious minerals that your body is craving. After 60, our bodies no longer produce enough growth hormone and testosterone as before. That's why no matter how much meat you eat, your muscles still don't develop. But walnuts create a special environment in the body where protein is not only absorbed, but also used efficiently. Margaret started eating 5 walnuts every morning with breakfast. She didn't believe in miracles, just followed my advice out of trust. After 3 weeks, she called me with a voice trembling with emotion. "Doctor, I just lifted my grandchild without needing help." I understand what that meant to a woman who once thought she'd never have strength again. Walnuts helped reduce inflammation in her muscles, improve blood circulation to each muscle fiber, and most importantly, created conditions for natural hormones to work better. The way I recommend you use walnuts is very simple. 5 nuts every morning, eaten with oatmeal or yogurt. Don't eat more because they're rich in good fats, but too much will cause indigestion. And remember to choose fresh nuts, not roasted or sugar-coated, to preserve those precious nutrients. I often tell patients that walnuts are like a good friend. At first you might not see immediate effects, but with persistence, you'll realize they've been quietly caring for you every day. Quinoa, the seed of strength. Once I met Robert Chen, a 68-year-old retired engineer from Austin. Robert was very meticulous, always researching everything thoroughly before making decisions. He came to see me with a notebook full of foods he had tried to strengthen his muscles: beef, chicken, salmon, eggs. He ate everything but still felt his body getting weaker day by day. "Doctor," he said, "I eat a lot of protein, but my stomach can't digest like before. Every time I eat meat, I feel bloated and uncomfortable all day." I understood his suffering. After 60, our digestive system changes, no longer strong like in our youth. That's when I introduced him to quinoa, a small grain that contains extraordinary power. Quinoa isn't ordinary grain. It contains all 9 essential amino acids, like meat. but is as gentle on the stomach as green vegetables. Robert looked at me skeptically. How can this tiny grain replace meat? I smiled and told him that the ancient Incas called quinoa Chisayamama, meaning mother of all grains. They believed quinoa brought strength and longevity. After eating quinoa for 2 months, Robert returned with much brighter eyes. He told me that not only did his muscles feel stronger, but his mind was also clearer, no longer feeling tired after meals. I can work in the garden all morning without back pain like before, he shared. Quinoa is especially valuable because it provides stable energy without suddenly spiking blood sugar. This is very important for older people, as it helps avoid fatigue after eating. Moreover, quinoa also contains magnesium to help muscles relax, phosphorus and calcium to strengthen bones. The way I recommend you cook quinoa is very simple. Rinse quinoa under cold water to reduce bitterness, then cook like rice with a ratio of 1 part quinoa to 2 parts water for 15 minutes. You can eat it like rice, mixed with vegetables, or eat it like porridge with a little salt and olive oil. 1 small bowl of quinoa daily, about 3 tablespoons, is enough to provide high-quality protein without overloading the digestive system. I often recommend patients eat quinoa at lunch to have stable energy all afternoon. Blueberries. The jewel protecting muscles. Dorothy Williams, 74 years old from Denver, came to see me worried about falling. She told me that since falling once in the bathroom, she lived in constant fear. "Doctor, I feel like my legs don't obey me anymore. I have to hold on to walls wherever I go. Going up and down stairs takes 15 minutes. Dorothy not only had weak muscles, but also lost motor coordination. This is a very common condition at advanced age. The brain and muscles no longer talk to each other well like before. I suggested something she thought was just dessert, blueberries. Blueberries aren't just sweet and fragrant, they are tiny warriors fighting against the aging process of muscles and brain. Each blueberry contains anthocyanins and polyphenols, powerful antioxidants that help protect muscle cells from damage. Do you know that after 60, our muscles don't just weaken from lack of protein, but also from rusting from within? Free radicals attack muscle cells, making them lose their ability to contract effectively. Blueberries are like guard soldiers, protecting each muscle cell from this attack. Dorothy started eating half a cup of blueberries every morning with oatmeal. Initially, she only did it because she trusted her doctor, not thinking such small fruits could help anything. But after a month, she discovered something miraculous. She could take the elevator without holding the handrail, could turn around without getting dizzy. "For the first time in years, I feel confident walking alone," she shared with me during a follow-up visit. Blueberries not only helped her muscles become stronger, but also improved the connection between brain and muscle, helping her coordinate movement better. Fresh blueberries are best, but frozen blueberries also retain most nutrients. You can eat them directly, mix with yogurt, add to smoothies, or cook porridge. I recommend eating them in the morning, so the body has all day to absorb the good substances. One important thing: don't buy blueberries that are sugar-coated or made into jam. Sugar will reduce antioxidant effects and may cause inflammation instead. Natural blueberries are already sweet enough and good for your body. Flax seeds, natural lubricant for muscles. Frank Rodriguez, 70 years old from Phoenix, came to see me with swollen and stiff knees. He was a retired carpenter, accustomed to using his hands and feet flexibly, but now every morning, wake-up was a struggle with pain. "Doctor, I feel like a machine that needs oiling," he told me. "Joints are stiff, muscles ache, and it seems the more I rest, the worse it gets." Frank had tried many pain relievers, but they only helped temporarily and caused uncomfortable side effects. I introduced him to flax seeds, one of the best plant-based omega-3 sources on Earth. Flax seeds aren't just food, but also natural lubricant for muscles and joints from inside the body. Frank showed doubt. Can these tiny seeds do anything for my pain? I explained that chronic inflammation is the main cause of muscle weakness and joint stiffness. Omega-3 in flax seeds are like firefighters, extinguishing inflammatory fires in the body. After grinding flax seeds and eating 1 teaspoon every morning for 6 weeks, Frank returned to me like a different person. He walked more easily, his knees were less swollen, and most importantly, he could sleep well without being awakened by aches and pains. I can do small tasks around the house without needing constant rest like before, he shared. Flax seeds not only helped reduce inflammation, but also improved cell membrane flexibility, helping nutrients and oxygen easily reach and nourish muscles. What's special about flax seeds is they also contain lignans, plant compounds that help balance natural hormones, especially important for postmenopausal women. They're also rich in soluble fiber, helping improve digestion and protein absorption. The way I recommend using flax seeds, always grind them before eating because whole seeds are hard to digest. You can mix ground flax seeds into oatmeal, yogurt, or smoothies. 1 teaspoon daily is enough. Don't eat too much as it may cause loose stools. Ground flax seeds should be stored in the refrigerator and used within 2 weeks to avoid rancidity. Or you can buy small amounts, grinding just enough each time to ensure maximum freshness. Cottage cheese, the nighttime friend of muscles. Helen Anderson, 76 years old from Seattle, is a woman I'll never forget. She came to see me with the tired look of someone who had tried very hard but saw no results. She told me she ate a lot of meat and fish to strengthen muscles following internet advice, but felt her body getting weaker day by day. "Doctor, I don't understand why. I eat a lot of protein. Sometimes all 3 meals have meat, but every morning I wake up feeling soft like I have no bones," she confided. I realized the problem. Helen was eating protein at the wrong time. Muscles recover and develop, mainly at night when we sleep. But most of us eat the most protein at dinner with grilled meat, then go to sleep without providing anything more for muscles throughout the long night. That's when I introduced Helen to cottage cheese, the best nighttime friend for aging muscles. Cottage cheese contains casein, a protein called slow protein, because it digests slowly over 6 to 8 hours. This means if you eat cottage cheese before bed, muscles will be nourished all night, exactly when they need it most to recover. Helen started eating a small bowl of low-fat cottage cheese every night before bed. She added a bit of cinnamon and a few blueberries to enhance flavor. Initially, she worried that eating late would make it hard to sleep, but the opposite happened. She slept deeper and better. After 3 weeks, Helen called me excitedly. "Doctor, for the first time in a long time, I wake up without feeling tired. And yesterday I was able to carry the grocery bag to the 2nd floor by myself." That's the power of nourishing muscles properly. Cottage cheese doesn't just have casein, but is also rich in leucine, the most important amino acid for building muscle. It also contains calcium and phosphorus to strengthen bones, creating a solid foundation for muscle function. The way I recommend using cottage cheese: choose low-fat or non-fat types to avoid overloading digestion at night. Eat 100-150 grams before bed about 30 minutes. You can eat it directly or mix with a little honey, cinnamon, or fruit. The important thing is to avoid cottage cheese products with added sugar or artificial flavors. They will increase blood sugar at night and affect sleep as well as muscle recovery process. As I sit here sharing with you about these 5 friends, walnuts, quinoa, blueberries, flax seeds, and cottage cheese, I can't help but think of hundreds of patients who have changed their lives thanks to these simple foods. Margaret now can play with her grandchildren without worrying about falling. Robert still gardens daily at 70. Dorothy walks alone around the neighborhood every morning. Frank returned to his hobby of woodworking. And Helen, the woman who once thought she'd have to live dependent on others, still tends to her small garden herself. I understand you might be thinking, is it still not too late for me? Can my body change at this age? I want to tell you that our bodies are more miraculous than we think. Even at 70, 80, even 90, muscles can still recover and strengthen if nourished properly. You don't need to change everything at once. Start with something you find easiest, maybe eating 5 walnuts every morning or adding cottage cheese to dinner. What matters isn't speed but persistence. I've witnessed too many small miracles. People who once thought they had no hope found new strength. Sometimes it only takes 3 weeks, sometimes 3 months, but change always comes to those who don't give up. Remember that every day you care for your body with good foods is a day you invest in the future. A future where you can still be independent, still do things you love, still be a support for loved ones instead of having to rely on them. Our muscles don't disappear in one day, and they won't return in one night either. But with each proper bite, with each good health choice, you're sending a message to your body. I haven't given up. I still want to be strong. I still want to live fully. And I believe your body will listen and respond with the strength, flexibility, and confidence you deserve to have. Because age is just a number, but muscle strength is a choice we can decide for ourselves every day. Start today, from the next meal, from the smallest decision. Your body is waiting to be cared for, and I believe you'll be surprised by what it can do when loved properly.